keep pivoting back to SNL. So the question is, are there characters or sketches or ideas that you pushed for a long time that finally made it on the air? And you're like, see, I'm right.
Right. I think there's versions of them, or it's more like I'll say I don't feel like there's been something that I like continuously go back to. Because after a few table reads of doing something and not seeing your peers approve of it, you're a little bit like, I'll take this to like a just indie comedy show, and that's cool. But also sometimes it's just like trying to find the right place and container for a certain character. And I always say, maybe not on the show, but I had a lot of failed sketches at Groundlings where like the sketch didn't work, but like the character or 10 seconds of the sketch worked. Mm-hmm. And that really helped me. I tried out for SNL like 2 times in the span of a week. And my second audition, they were like, my first audition, I did 12 characters. And my second audition, they were like, it has to be all new characters from the last one. And I was like, I just gave them like...
That's insane.
I just gave them my all-stars.
In the same week?
Yes. And so I had to go back to like all these failed things I'd done, but been like, oh, you know what? Actually, there was something in that character, or that like line really landed. How can I make that like a 5-second or 30-second bit? And so my second audition for SNL was like, I always say it was like my bench, sports, and I know you don't like them, but I'm like, my bench
I get the reference at least, for God's sakes.
But like my bench got to play, and I think my bench got me the job.
Oh, that's cool.
Sometimes the bench wins you the title, Ralph.
All right. So now the question: when you're into sports, sports.
I love this whole. I didn't even know where it's going. I mean, who starts a sentence like that? When you're into sports.
Here's my feeling. Correct me if I'm wrong. Usually, an older brother or father gets you into sports. Very rarely is it just, oh, I grew up loving sports. Nobody in my family likes sports, but I do. Am I right?
You're wrong.
God.
My mom got me into sports.
Okay, well, it's still close enough. I mean like an older person in your family, somebody in the family.
Well, someone younger doesn't get you into it.
Yeah, but it's
when
never.
You're 6,
what I mean by that is,
2-year-old doesn't come up to you.
You never get into sports on your own.
You need to watch the Cavaliers.
Like, well, but I will. I'll say it was a little of both. My mom had a boyfriend, Neil Grady. Shout out, mom boyfriend. Shout out. Who we would always spend Sundays at Neil's house, and Neil had this roommate, Ed. And they were super into football and NASCAR. So like when the NFL was going, we'd watch football all Sunday at Neil and Ed's. And then if it was NASCAR, which I never really got into, we'd watch that. But Ed taught me how to bet. And so as a 6-year-old, I was... As a
6-year-old?
Yes, I was walking around getting $2 from my mom, Neil, Ed, and then I would have like all the games. It was pretty simple betting, you know, just like who do you think will win, circle each game.
No point spreads?
No
Did you
point.
wait till you were 8? No. I'm from Vegas. So
no point spreads.
I know all that early. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Did you ever did you take a little vig? You make a little extra money on the side?
Yeah, I mean the most you could win was $8, but that was cool. Big at 6.
I like that. And to go on the sports theme, since we're stuck in it right now.
Yes.
Your favorite sketch of all time so far is when you played, what's his name, Wozniak?
Yeah.
Wozniak on the take on Michael Jordan, which is brilliant. I love the story behind that a writer saw that guy and said, oh, you could play this.
Yes. And that's really that's one of the gifts at SNL, that when someone can see something you could do that you could never see. It was like a year after The Last Dance. I'd watched The Last Dance. I'd loved it. I'd loved the Woz, but I didn't think, oh, I am that man. And he emailed me and he was like, the subject was, it's a shame you haven't played this character. And I was like, ooh, opening it up, like, what's it going to be? And I definitely thought it'd be a woman. And it was a bearded, curly haired
I also,
man.
when you pull down your pants and there's the hairy, disgusting legs, it's great.
It was incredible. I mean, the makeup department just making that leg hair was like very
ridiculous.
Cool.
And how long did you have to wait till the right guest host came on to play Jordan, which I think was Keegan, right?
Yeah, we waited. I think it was a few months, and it was the show before the season finale. So
So you were sitting on it, like you knew that this was what we're gonna do. Got to wait for the right guy to come on.
Yeah.
That's great. And when you pitch them to him, like when the guest, or is that like how does that work? Because he's not he has to approve that, I would imagine, right?
Totally. We didn't necessarily, I don't think we pitched that one to him because we're like, let's just write it and see what happens. But it went well at the table and he was down.
Have you, and you, again, you may not want to talk about it, but have you ever pitched something to a host that you were so sure they were going to love and like, yeah, no, that's not going to work for me?
Yeah. I mean, it's why I sometimes don't pitch to hosts that often now, just because like, your idea is so sacred to you and you're so excited about it. And then if you pitch it to someone else and they're not 100% on board, it takes the wind out of your sails.
Right.
So I'd rather just kind of like let it ride, let it rip. Like, we'll see how it goes at table.
Is there a host that you became friends with afterwards, that you started hanging out with afterwards?
Oh my gosh. You know, I really like Amy Schumer. I think she's just super cool and easy to talk to.
And you stayed friends?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Anybody else that you think out of?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I wish that I could be like, yeah, I'm really good friends with like Eddie Murphy. I mean, we just had Steve Martin and Martin Short on.
Yeah, that was great.
That was so cool.
It's pretty great.
I used to run a restaurant, and Steve Martin was not want to say regular, but he would come in. I probably met him like 2 or maybe 3 times. And I would always just want to, I didn't want to say anything, oh, I'm a fan, because he doesn't want to deal with that, you know? But I would always just go up and say, hey, is everything okay? You need anything? Just so I could say that I spoke to Steve Martin.
Yes.
Was
Always
everything
nice.
okay?
Always okay. He kept coming back.
I get worried, you know?
He kept coming back. I just wanted to be able to say, I've spoken to Steve Martin. You know, he has that story where he has cards that he carries that says, I met Steve Martin and he was nice, because he doesn't want to sign autographs. So he just gives those out.
Oh,
you know?
I love that.
Yeah, which is a good idea.
That is
but
good.
I just wanted to be able to say I spoke to him. I got to speak to Steve Martin. You can't say that. She can. 2/3 of us have met Steve Martin.
Thanks, buddy. I hope he drops in next week at the cellar. And I bring him up. I can't wait. I'll get him on FaceTime after. Be like, hey, Ralph. Oh, you'll be in sleep already.
I will be asleep. I watch in the morning. I never watch live. I watch the next day.
Yeah, I get
can't
it.
deal with it. The after parties have become synonymous with New York. Not so much since the pandemic, but it used to be, and I don't know this because I'm not as cool in that circle, but it used to always change where it was every week because they didn't want people to find out, oh, it was at blah, 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 and then go back the next week. Is that still the case?
It's rotating.
Yeah, so you never really know where it goes.
Yeah, and we find out pretty last minute.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
funny. And you're expected to at least show up, I imagine, or not anymore?
I do think it's part of the job. I think every so often, like, you know, there was one week this year I was recovering from COVID, and I mean, I did not have COVID doing the show, but I was still recovering, and I was like, I don't want to go, and people understood.
Is it always the younger cast members that stay much later, or is there someone that always wants to stay out late? You know what I mean?
I mean, I think Lauren's there the latest.
Really?
I'll be honest.
That's
Yes.
crazy.
Yes.
Because he's got to be, what, in his 70s now? Am I right? I would guess.
I'm guessing the back half, yes.
In the back half of 70s. That's pretty wild. And so when you got you did your 2 auditions in a row, is he the one that calls you to tell you got it?
He did call me.
Is that always the case? Is that what happens?
I don't know. It was the case in my, you read so many things, especially when you're auditioning, just to like get some like, is this how it works? I would always read that you would get a meeting with Lauren, and that was like a really good sign if you got a meeting. Well, I auditioned once, didn't get a meeting, flew home. They flew me back out. I didn't get a meeting, was leaving for my flight, was seeing other people that auditioned with me walk across the street to 30 Rock for meetings, and I was like, okay, I didn't get it. And then I heard radio silence for 10 days, like I was in full mourning. And then 10 days later, I was in the parking lot of my grocery store, Gelson's.
In LA.
In LA. I kid you not, my goal was just to go to Gelson's. I didn't need groceries. I was like, I've got to get my mind off of thinking of SNL. I'm gonna walk down the cereal aisle and just look at the pretty boxes. Like that was, because nothing else was working. I was so brokenhearted.
Jesus.
Tough.
And I got in my car, I saw a 917 number come up, and I was like, that's New York. And I was like, but it's probably a scam, but I'm going to answer. And they were like, Heidi Gardner, I've got Lorne Michaels on the phone for you. And I was like, and then suddenly I try to act like this was normal. And I was like, yes, put him through.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Hang on. Let me get her. Hang on.
And they're like, is this Heidi Gardner? I was like, it is. I'll speak with him. And then...
By the way, your name is fun to say whole. Heidi Gardner is
name.
more fun than just to say Heidi. Like I always say Heidi Gardner. Like the last couple of days when we knew you were coming in, I would just say Heidi Gardner, just like it flows well. I don't know why that is.
Oh, I like that. I always think of other people's names like that. Those names where you're like, you can't just say one part of their name.
Yeah, it's a full name.
I'm glad to be in the club.
And so how long was the call? Was it, hey, you got it and that's it? Or like what?
No, I think it was probably about 6 minutes. And from the time he told me that I got it until maybe the 6th minute, I suddenly realized I hadn't said a word. Like it is like in the movies where you're speechless. And then suddenly I was like, in my head, I remember being like, this man is changing my life. And I have not said one word to him. So then I just exclaimed, I was like, thank you so much. And
Were you in the middle of the cereal aisle?
No, I was still in the car.
Okay.
And he was like, I can tell you're in shock, but I'll be meeting you in 2 days. By the way, you're moving tomorrow. And I was like,
wow.
Just like that.
Did anybody that you auditioned with also get the gig?
yes, Luke and Chris Redd.
Chris Redd. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And now both of them are gone, I think, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
So I'm the only one from my class.
Chris
still
Redd
there.
is great, too. I loved Chris Redd.
Good
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah. When he was in that Andy Samberg movie, Never Stop Stoppin'. Did you ever see that movie?
Pop Star?
Pop Star?
Yeah.
Hey, that was such a good movie.
Yeah. It's so funny.
I feel like it did not get the credit it deserved, that movie. There's some great scenes in that movie. God damn.